She is the one who speaks with wisdom, who gets up in the dark, who selects the wool and works with eager hand, plants the vineyard, seems to provide the chapter 31 of Proverbs seems to provide the manual for a perfect mother. If we measured ourselves against all that the Bible says we should be, sorry, ladies, but we find ourselves measured and found lacking. The celebration of Mother's Day can be a little misleading in that there is an underlying assumption that all mothers are good mothers, that all mothers want to be mothers and are willing to do right. No truth is that the truth is that we know that motherhood is hard work. As hard as the work of motherhood is, we need to realize the difficulties are not unique to this generation. And in every generation, including biblical times, difficulties had its share of women making errors, had its share of women falling from favor of God. But always, God was there to take them back, to lead them, to guide them, and to show them the way. There are women in the Bible who were mothers who were literally not good mothers. There was Eve, whose children, who disobeyed, and the consequence of that, she had a son who killed a son. There's Jezebel, and there's a woman who was responsible for the death of John the Baptist. But these women are exceptions. Especially mothers strive to live up to the examples that God has put before us. Most women strive to be godly mothers, and most have taken heed of the lessons learned from the mothers of the Bible. There's Eve, the mother of mankind. She made the monumental error, the one that resulted in the loss of Eden. And her experiences, she went through trials and heartbreaks that mothers of wicked children sometimes must endure. You know, I think it was Bill Cosby who said, whenever parents have children, it's like planting a garden. And you expect to go out and see all flowers come up. But sometimes when you get to the row, some weeds are out there too. And you have to work around that as a mother. I invite you to look at Rebecca, the mother who schemed and deceived to put one son in a better place than the others. And this is a woman who had been blessed by God, but she didn't see fit to bless the other child. So Rebecca took matters into her own hands, and she shows us the disastrous consequences of taking matters into our own hand. As mothers, we must know that when the problem is too big, learn from Rebecca, let God do it. Motherhood is about the kind experienced by Jacob. She was willing to sacrifice her own son for his own protection. She believes that his safety superseded her desire to keep him. She lets us know that sometimes we have to do things differently to protect our children. Nowhere is this fact illustrated better than in the story of King Solomon's decision. Two women claiming the same child gives them a way that he can settle the matter. One woman doesn't say anything really. The other woman said, don't do it. Guess which one was the mother? The one who said, don't kill the child. Hannah and Elizabeth are here to show us lessons of keeping the faith, of praying, of believing. Each of them was rewarded late in life, children born. And realizing they had received a blessing, both women decided to dedicate their children to the service of Christ. They serve to teach us that as mothers, our children are not ours alone. They belong to God. Nowhere is this, I'll take that. And let us not forget that the Bible is not all about perfect women and striving to do better. Take, for example, Hagar. She was put out, a single mom, put out by her mother-in-law and her father of her child, because her mother-in-law didn't think that he should share what her child had. Her grandson had. Sometimes that happens in life. So let us not forget that innocent, poverty-stricken, unwed women an innocent, poverty-stricken, unwed young woman from the small town of Nazareth, who would become the mother of all, mother of Jesus. She endured shame and pain as an unwed mother, but she never once doubted her son. In fact, 30 years into his ministry, it is noted that his enemies said unto him, "We are not illegitimate children." They weren't above putting what they thought was a knife in and twisting it, but she still nurtured him in her womb, and he emerged a living being. Giving birth is as close to creating as humanly possible. No wonder that motherhood is held in such high esteem. Mary followed history and was there when he died on the cross. Mary becomes a testament that every mother's child is loved. Think now to the time when Jesus, knowing that he was about to leave this world, looked out to his mother. He said to her, "Dear mother, here is your son." And to the disciple John, he said, "Here is your mother." And from that time on, the disciple took Jesus in. The lesson here is that mothers are sometimes who God gives us. Truly,